The next 2 days, that didn't sound right, but like I did not go down on his throat. I grabbed him by the throat with my hands, digitally. We're not recording this, right?
We are recording.
Fuck. Hi. We're not grabbing people by the throat, I swear. To God, Indonesian government.
So next 2 days.
Next couple days, yeah. It should be in a Wahyu's account. At that point, I will forcefully push the money from Wahyu's account here. Yeah. So one of the reasons why we're so scared right now in crypto is because we don't know what the hell this thing is. Why did I buy it? What does it even do? A lot of times I ask people, how do you get your money out? And they're like, money out? I'm like, yeah, the money out. Like, take it out of crypto and put it into your pocket. Like, I never tried that. And it's like, wait, what's your plan? Is your plan just to like buy crypto and just hold it and then watch it go up and then watch it go down and then watch it go up and watch it go down and do nothing with it, right? So in order for us to understand what this idea of crypto is, we have to understand a few layers of what's going on in the world, right? Let's always start at the top. Crypto in our society right now is value. We're all valuing it. Why are we valuing it? So let's look at like, what is value, right? Value as a concept is simply the idea that if you improve somebody's life, if you add a value to somebody's life, that person will pay you back in some form of value, right? So you improve your family's life by feeding your kids, supporting everybody. Therefore, you get value back because you have a family. You get hugs and love. I mean, that's a great exchange. You get quality of life in transaction for you working hard to be able to take care of your family or yourself or whatever. That idea of adding value to people's lives is why businesses make more money than individuals, because businesses add more value to people's lives. It's a simple process, right? How is crypto value? So before the Industrial Revolution, value was land. Land was valuable because land grew food, right? And food's the most valuable thing for thousands of years in the world. So value, money, and power sat in land ownership. And the landowners or feudal said, whatever, the landowners were the ones that were powerful. Then somebody came along and went, you know what, we're going to invent this new technology called factories. So we're going to take this little, room's worth of land, and we're going to set up some machines on it, and these machines are going to be more valuable than the land, right? And when you told people that, they were like, no way, you create a little room, and it becomes more valuable than our giant swaths of land, because our land produces the true value that our system's been based on for a long time. But that happened. Industrial Revolution comes along, new technology comes along, figures out a way to produce a lot of valuable goods in a small space using machinery, and the value of that factory became more than the value of the land, and the factory owners became the richest, right? In the 1980s, somebody came along and went, wait, I'm going to connect a bunch of these computers together to do something, and these computers are going to be more valuable than your factories. And people went, no way, you're nuts. You're crazy. You're crazy if you think that little computer running some code on it is going to be more valuable than my factories. I produce cars, right? But that's exactly what happened. Over the last 30 years, we've seen internet become the value generation mechanism that generates more value than the traditional world. So just take an example, right? Some guys came along, sat in a garage and went, I think if we hook up a computer together that answers people's questions, that's a lot of value to add to people, right? And so they created Google, and it was such a good idea, and they came up with such a good algorithm that the world was like, here's $1 trillion. And the way the $1 trillion went to them is, we all went, yeah, that's useful. And we sat down and we started searching things, and it was useful to us. We paid them in the form of attention, which is like the most expensive thing on the planet is attention. We paid them in attention. They learned how to monetize and turn it into money. Okay? That is the world that we've been living in. The world where Somebody hooks up computers together, they do something that's useful to the world, and then the world pays them in value. Can I steal this? Oh, holy blessed water. We're all blessed. Okay. So that makes sense, right? We know why Google and Amazon are worth trillions of dollars, because they have a network of people that are using the system to do something that adds value to their life. Therefore, the thing is worth $1 trillion. I mean, it might not be worth $1 trillion, but that's the valuation that we put it at if we were to all sell it today, right? But the idea is that there's a bunch of computers somebody hooked up, and they do something for you. So like, when you think about it, like, Airbnb doesn't own any real estate. Yeah, they're the biggest hotelier in the world. Uber doesn't own any cars. They're the biggest taxi company in the world. Facebook doesn't make any social media. They're the biggest social media company in the world. Google doesn't produce any websites except for like a couple, and they're the biggest website company in the world, right? So what actually happened there? What happened is these computers were set up to add value to people's lives in a networked fashion, right? Because when you're producing cars, it's like, okay, I produce one car, and then our capacity goes to 2 cars, then it goes to 10 cars, then it goes to 50 cars, then it goes to 100. So it's like a linear growth in how many cars I can produce. That's how those things grew. So therefore, the value of those companies, car companies and oil companies and things, went in pretty much a linear straight line, which is how the human brain actually thinks, right? With networks, it's not like that. With networks, the value of a network goes up exponentially as more users are in the network. Okay, it's a law called Metcalfe's law. If you want to look into it, that's how you value a network. They're different than valuing just regular old companies, right? So what they do is they go 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, 100 million. That's their growth curve, right? So value as a concept became computer networks that add value to people's lives in some way, and then therefore we buy the computer networks as like stocks, right? That's the world that we've been living in. So then somebody came along and went, wait a minute. These computers that are set up, they're owned by Google, or they're owned by, man, I really don't like this thing. I have to be like this the whole time. Like for 2 hours, I have to do arm exercises. If you guys can't hear me in the back, please just let me know. So somebody came along and went, hey, how come all these computers are owned by the companies, and the companies are taking over the fucking world? Why don't we set up computers, which nobody really owns? We all run the computers separately at our houses as miners, as Bitcoin miners, let's call them. But then we will get paid for the work that these computers do. Right? That's a pretty simplified concept. Instead of the companies making all the money, the people who are running the computers make the money. And that was the idea of blockchain and Bitcoin and all this stuff, right? Basically, let me actually just go through my little checklist. Okay, so what is value? Value is stuff that improves your life, right? In the end, the single thing that improves your life the most is love. Isn't it? Like, if I have the money to take care of my family so we can love each other, and I can eat good food, which is love for myself, and good places, which is love for me and whoever I take to those good places, and I live in a good house, which is love for us, and I have the ability to be able to give to the world, which is love for the rest of the world, right? As long as I can do that, I'm good. We're living a good life. I mean, I don't have to tell anybody here. We're sitting here in Bali on a Wednesday, 11 to 1. Congratulations. Give yourself a high five if you're in this room. Because, man, you're in Bali. You're in a place where people go to vacation, and this is your Tuesday or a Wednesday. It doesn't make a difference, right? So, like, value is that. Value is being able to live the way that you want and show love to yourself and be happy, right? So then technically money is value, because money is the way that I work hard and add value to people's lives, show love to them. They give me money because they're like, man, I love what you're doing for me. Here's some money. And you take the money and you're like, great, I'm going to go love for myself and spend it on like alcohol tonight, right? I guess that's you showing love for yourself, right? So when we're looking at this whole system, in today's world, all that love, all that money is controlled by companies. And they're getting insanely wealthy. While the rest of us are the products that are feeding the companies with the data. That is what they monetize. So we are the product, and we get paid zero. Right? As a matter of fact, we have a net negative return on it because it takes up our productivity and makes us lazy and makes us anxious and all this kind of stuff, right? So it's weird. So when you think about it like that, why is money the way it is? Why is money money, right? So if we know, okay, value is the idea of improving people's lives, and in a way it's love. Why is the money that we use the way it is? The money that we use is the way it is because we know it's limited in some capacity. There's a bunch of, I'll do this at the Ubud talk, I'll pull up the presentation, we didn't have time. But it's the idea that like there's something rare that I can use to store that love that I've added to people's lives, right? I add value to people's lives, I love them, and then they want to pay me back in a form of something where I can store that love for some period of time. And that storage mechanism for love is like, I want to store it somewhere so that later on when I want to show love to myself, I want to show love to my kids, that love will be preserved, that money will be preserved, that purchasing power will be preserved. Love, money, and purchasing power can be interchangeably used in that sentence, right? And you probably don't hear that idea of like purchasing power as love because we think like purchasing power is some evil thing that exists for the elite to take over the world, right? So we have stored it in things like gold. You know, gold was rare, it's super hard to find, super hard to process. So we knew, okay, if I put it into gold and 10, 20, 30 years down the road, I need to take that value out and I need to show love to my people and myself and I need to improve my quality of life, gold will store it pretty well, right? Up until very recently, we relied on the dollar. We were like, okay, you know what, if I take dollars and I put them in the bank and I have X amount of dollars in the bank and inflation's at like 1%, 2%, okay, then dollars are a pretty solid place to keep it. As long as I keep growing those dollars faster than the 2% that they're bleeding out, I'll get rich. That's the life that our parents lived, right? My generation did not have that opportunity. Millennials could not save money to get a house because houses are getting more expensive faster than we can actually save money, right? We could barely keep up with our bill payments off of regular jobs. So we did not get the opportunity to invest in houses and all these places where, you know, where our parents got rich. So what we did is technically we went, let's hook up computers in a new way, okay? And the way we connect these computers up is very special. It's like, when I want to create the Bitcoin, let's say I'm Satoshi and I'm like, I am Satoshi, by the way. I'm sick of hiding it. I'm Satoshi Nakamoto.
Can you change the lines of code?
For you, any day, no problem. That million Bitcoin I have, it's for you now, okay? Satoshi, who I think is Black Industry or whoever runs the entire world, was Satoshi, by the way. It wasn't a person, I don't think. Comes along and goes, okay, we're going to connect computers together. You're going to run one, you're going to run one, I'm going to run one, you're going to run one, okay? We got 4 computers running, right? At our own houses that we set up with our own money that we're paying the power for, right? We're going to program these computers to have an accounting book running on them, okay? Because a bank is just an accounting book. A bank is just an accounting book that says you have this much, you have this much, you have this much. And when you send it to somebody, he goes, okay, well, he took out this much here, and another bank goes, yeah, they added this much here. That's all it is, right? Most things are actually just accounting books. Stocks are accounting books. Commodities are accounting books. Houses are accounting books that just say your name on the register of the house, right? So everything's just an accounting book that just keeps track of who owns what and who has how much of what. So we connected the computers together. They're the same computer. They have the same accounting book running on all the computers, okay? Nobody controls the accounting book. So now it's like, okay, my accounting book says you have 2 Bitcoin, you have 2 Bitcoin, you have 2, and I have 1, right? All of our books now say that. All of our books say 2, 2, 2, 1. I look at my book and I go, but I want 2. So I go into my book and I go, no, 2. I try to hack it and cheat it. The system is set up so it goes, no, we know that these 3 books say that it has 2. You're trying to say that you're trying to lie. Your computer's kicked out of the system. We know verifiably it's 2221. Okay? So we built the same system that banks have, an accounting book, but instead of a bank running it and some guy at the bank getting to go, $1 billion for my friend. You know, that's what governments are doing. They're printing money, right? So they go like, oh, COVID happened, ooh, so sad. Then they go, 3.7 trillion to my friends, please, pronto. And they literally go into the money system, which is literally an accounting book, and an SQL server at the Federal Reserve, literally a computer, that they go into and they literally type in the amount and they hit enter, and that much money gets produced. And that money then gets handed to banks. And when we go to the bank and try to get a loan, the bank then goes into its computer and goes, you need a loan for 100,000? 100,000. And the moment they hit enter, 100,000 appears magically in the system. And that's what they give to us as money. Okay, that was their system. But that means there's somebody there. Like whoever knows that guy is like the bestie. Like they just win the game. You got a bestie at the Federal Reserve, right? So we said, no, that's bullshit. Because now those guys are printing all the money and I'm over here working my ass off for it and trying to save it. And they're just printing it for free. They're devaluing my purchasing power, right? Our computers, you can't do that. Our computers, it's verified. Now there's millions of us running this same accounting book at our houses. That accounting book makes sure that nobody can mess with the numbers in any way. Nobody can ever change what's in that accounting book. It's immutable. If you ever hear the word immutable, it just means unchangeable, right? Well, that's valuable. That's valuable. Now what you've done is you've given me a way to verifiably store value that banks can't fuck with. Governments can't mess with it. Nobody can mess with it. They can print an infinite amount of dollars forever. That's why the actual dollar has lost like 98 point something percent of its value now since 130 years ago. But this system, I can't change. In this system, they also said, let's limit the Bitcoin to 21 million Bitcoin ever, right? With gold, it's like, okay, well, I'll store my money in gold, but as the price of gold goes up, miners mine more gold. So the demand goes up and supply goes up, right? With money, dollars, it just goes up whenever Joe Blow over here wants to type it into Jerome Powell over here wants to type it into the computer system, right? That's when they change it. That's not cool. With ours, it reliably gets produced at a smaller and smaller quantity every 4 years, right? In this system, the thing that we're using for accounting, the Bitcoins, only 21 million will ever exist. Only 21 million will ever exist, which is great, not like gold. There's an actual limit on it. And it gets produced at a slower and slower rate every 4 years. So that having that event of half being produced is called a halving event. Okay, if you hear about this, we'll talk about this later. Now the other thing is like, we're running the computers, right? We're paying for the computers, we're paying for the electricity, we're paying for the cooling, we're paying for our time. Why would we even be incentivized to do this? What we're actually doing is, with Bitcoin, we're doing two things. One, we're running this like complex calculation of that if you solve it, you get a Bitcoin. That's how Bitcoins are mined into existence. Okay? 900 will be mined today. 900 Bitcoins will pop into existence for people who are solving this problem using a bunch of computer power. Okay? That's one of the ways that we get paid. We're just trying to win this lottery to try to get Bitcoins. The second way we get paid is when somebody uses our computer. So like, what does our computer do? Our computer stores value in registries to say this much is 2221. If I send my one over, then that computer updates the entry, just like a book. It updates the entry to say SIM now has 0, we've sent over 1, okay? So when that happens, when a transaction happens, whoever's doing the transaction pays us a little bit of Bitcoin to do that transaction. Those are the transaction fees, right? So the people who are running the computers, they're incentivized to run the computers because they might win a Bitcoin if they run it long enough and powerfully enough. Plus, they'll get transaction fees for anybody who uses the computers. So now what happened? Instead of like Google getting all the money, the people who are running the computers get the money. And we're the ones running the computers, right? The reason why you actually buy a bit, so then you think like, okay, that's cool, Sim, accounting book, need a place to store money, you can move it back and forth and transaction fees go to people. But like, what is a Bitcoin? What does a Bitcoin do? Like I'm going like this, like it's real. It's not even real. What literally does this thing we call Bitcoin do? Its actual only functionality is to exist and move. It's such a stupidly simple system that all it does is it simply exists. It's like gold. Like what does gold do? You can hit somebody in the head really well with it, but other than that, there's not much gold does, unless you want to build like super electronics or something, right? Yet gold is valuable to us. Its job is just to exist. Actually, its job is to exist and move, right? That gold as a function is it exists, stores value, and you can move it to, you can give it to people and move it around, and that's transacting value. Bitcoin does the same thing. The only actual functionality a Bitcoin has is to pay the transaction fees for when you move money around. That's it. And why is it valuable? Because we think it's valuable. Like, there are two pieces of paper. This one won't get me jack shit in Bali. It's Serbian. This one will get me stuff in Bali. There's not much difference. They're both just pieces of paper. They're actually not even worth, I mean, they are worth what it's printed on for now, but one day they won't be worth what they're printed on, right? So what is the point of this thing? To exist and move. It exists, you get a certain amount of it, you move it, and you give it to somebody else, that's it. But like, they're just two pieces of paper. Like, you ever think about that? It comes with the trust, but this one's not trusted here. And in that little piece over there, this one's trusted, and they're like, what the fuck is this one? Literally, I went to Serbia, and the guy has it, and he just looks at it and he goes, how are you gonna pay for that? And I'm like, I have money, but it's not money for you. Like, you won't give me coffee now, right? So, but then when you think about the literal scam that we're running is like, oh, this piece of paper, as long as you're on the east side of the Kalimantan border, great. This piece of paper, get that thing out of my face. Now, if this was a US dollar, people would be like, ooh, this piece of paper has more linen in it, you know? But they're all just pieces of paper. They're completely worthless, actually. The only thing that makes it worthwhile is that I want to work for these. It's like, I will do something. I'll add value to somebody's lives. Just give me those pieces of paper, right? The scam is these pieces of paper are becoming more and more worthless every day, right? And within the next 10 years, you could have stacks and stacks of pieces of paper. Have you guys ever seen the photo of like the Weimar Republic where the guy in the thing is he's counting his trillions of Deutsche Marks in his shop? He has stacks and stacks, he has trillions of Deutsche Marks. And one Deutsche Mark bought a bar of gold 15 years before that. One Deutsche Mark bought a bar of gold 15 years before that, at single-digit Deutsche Marks, not one Deutsche Mark. And now this guy has trillions of them stacked up, and then eventually they became, no, not these ones. At Weimar Republic currency hyperinflation. Whatever, it's going to turn into this. It's going to turn into Venezuela. It's going to turn into Sri Lanka, where the currency is used to make bags. It's used for firewood because it works better as fire. It's less expensive to burn currency than it is to burn firewood. Mm-hmm.
5 billion.
Yeah, 12 billion marks bought. At one point, one Deutsche Mark bought a loaf of bread, then 12 billion bought a loaf of bread. And the billionaires got a lot of bread, you know? No, but this is an explanation of why the kids went, this is a Ponzi, this crap you're running is a Ponzi, and you won't even let us play properly in the Ponzi because we're the last ones to come in. And that's what always happens to the last ones to enter a Ponzi. We all get screwed, right? As a function of our age. We're creating our own game. Okay, we're creating our own book, own accounting book, own form of money. We're just going to agree that it's valuable before you guys agree that it's valuable, and we're going to start putting our money into it. Okay, so that's what's actually happened when it comes to this space where we are today. We have come up with a new way of storing value in accounting books that nobody controls, okay, that the governments can't mess with. And that's the idea of the blockchain. When somebody says the word blockchain, it simply just means a bunch of computers connected together all over the world by individuals or corporations who decide to run the computers that run an accounting book that serves a certain function. Okay? So that was Bitcoin, you know. People came along, there's this need to store money in a new way. Boom, came up with a new computer system that's decentralized, that has the right technology. It's called crypto because it's cryptographically encrypted. Okay? So one thing, I want you to stop thinking about this whole space as crypto. Because cryptocurrency is such a misnomer in what's going on. Then we're thinking all of them are currencies. No, they're not. So, you know, this computer network exists. First of all, any questions up until this point? Did anything not make sense? Did I enunciate? That was also just an excuse for me to like go take a break and just hang out. I was like, man, I hope there's like a long question somewhere. I can just, yeah, yes, sir.
Europe, they did something. They started Europe to get all this country, all this, you know,
Yep.
together.
Yeah.
But what happened? Then the crypto come, and it's like,
Yep.
no, I was thinking that when euro was introduced in Europe, and I thought people would be happy having a one crypto.
No,
One currency, and then what you see, you have all those, and even more currency.
Yeah.
To the market with crypto.
So you have to understand how money works, right? These are simply a representation of the wealth a country holds, right? This is called a note because it's a convertible note on debt. This is a promise from a government to pay you back in the value that you are owed when you want to add value to your own life, right? That's what it is. This is simply a promise from society saying, you added value to somebody's life, so you got this thing of storage method. We promise you, when you need value added to your life in an equivalent quantity, you can give us this back and we'll give you back value. That's what this is, right? The way the euro and yen and all of them are connected are through a system called the Bretton Woods system that happened in 1944. In 1944, before 1930, all of the value in the money, all the money in the world was tied to the US dollar, right? Not even US dollar, sorry, gold. It was tied to gold. It was like, how much gold do you have? You make a note on the deposit of that gold, and you give that to somebody, and that's money. And when somebody brings that back, they can get that gold, right? 1930, US went, it's illegal for you all to own your gold. And it's a felony for you to hold on to it. You got to bring it to us, and we're confiscating all your gold. Like that. They took everybody's gold, right? From the banks. Literally, the banks just closed, and they took everybody's gold. The world went into complete mayhem. 1930 to 1945, World War II happens, and everything gets destroyed. 1944, they're like, we got to come up with a solution. You know, the people who caused the problem are like, we got to come up with a solution. Then they created the solution of the Bretton Woods system. The Bretton Woods system is the idea that the value of each currency in the world is tied to the US dollar, is based on the US dollar. And the US dollar was based on gold. Because now the US government owns all the gold, even foreign entity gold, right? So then everybody went, okay, you own all the gold, like, fine, we'll go with that system. As long as the dollar is based on the gold, then our currency is being based on the dollar means our currency is still based on gold. Okay, we'll let that function. That ran until 1971 when, was it Nixon? Yeah, Nixon went, we're not even going to honor the dollar to gold conversion. Like, we're not giving you the damn gold. Right? You can do whatever you want. So all the countries went, shit. Now our currencies are based on the dollar, and the dollar's not even based on anything. What they actually did is they transitioned the dollar to be based on oil. It's called a petrodollar, right? So when you create a euro, all you're doing is you're saying, okay, my earlier currency, my Italian currency, whatever it was before, is equivalent to this many dollars. Now I make a new currency that's equivalent to a different amount of dollars, but in the end it's still equivalent to dollars. If they print more dollars into existence, technically my currency should be valued at more dollars because there's more dollars in existence, so therefore the inflation should happen on my currency. What it actually created is arbitrage opportunities for Forex traders to be able to pump and dump currencies in a better way. So what they did is they created the euro to stabilize all the currencies. They had a bunch of, Greece and Spain had terrible currencies. They're in like insane amounts of debt. Germany and France were not in an insane amount of debt. But they brought them all together under one umbrella and went, you guys are rich, you guys are broke, tied you together, now you guys go rich or broke together in your currencies. Now we control everything. Now unelected officials from a supranational entity, which are not from any nation, control the future of all the countries underneath. So what the euro was actually the deployment of the globalist agenda, okay? Their plan has been to take over the world and run it in a one world government. Euro was a big step towards that. But now what happened to euro in the last 3 months? Euro has just, this was great. I went to Serbia, they have a euro-based economy. Everything was so cheap. My dollars are almost equivalent to euros now. So what the dollar did is the dollar destroyed the euro. The dollar destroyed the yen. The dollar destroyed the Turkish lira. The dollar destroyed the Lebanese currency and the Sri Lankan currency and the Brazilian currency and the Argentine currency. And there's biblical collapses going on around you. Sri Lanka has 130% inflation now, and then people can't get food today as we speak because the dollar is murdering them. Okay? Actually, from December until now, the dollar has killed crypto, dollar has killed stocks, dollar has killed bonds, dollars have killed insurance, dollar has killed every single, dollar has crushed it in this time. Where you want to be during that time is the dollar. Does that make sense? So the euro is simply just a representation of the dollar, and it's also a representation of how the dollar feels about the euro. If it feels like crushing the euro, it crushes the euro, right? So now, as they're printing those dollars and euros into existence, they're flooding currency into the system. That's why Bitcoin has gone from 0.8 of a penny to $40, back down to single-digit dollars to $200, back down to double-digit dollars to $1,200, back down to triple-digit dollars to $20,000, back down to quadruple-digit dollars to 70,000, and back down to quintuple-digit dollars. And in the middle of it, you're like, oh, this is going down a lot, this is scary. But then you look back and you go, wait, it was 0.8 of a penny at some point, dude. This thing that I'm in was 0.8 of a penny, and it's gone to $22,000, and I'm stressing about this? Show me something else that's gone from 0.8 of a penny to $20,000 in the course of 12 years, right? Because this way of hooking up the world, this different way of hooking up computers together, is the future. I read this white paper in 2012, and I'm an electronics engineer. The moment I read it, I was like, this is it. This is it. And I started sounding like a psycho to my friends. I was like, you don't understand. This is a new way to hook up the world together. This is it. This is the solution. And they're like, to what? And I was like, I don't even know, but this is it. Whatever, this is it. They just figured out the game. This can't exist. I was just so shocked about it existing. But this is a new way to connect the world together. No longer is it going to be that there's these giant conglomerates that hold all the wealth and control all the wealth and are the most responsible for changing society. What we're doing now is we're breaking up that wealth into little chunks called coins, and we're letting people own them. And now all of us are invested in the success of society. But those computer networks have to do something to improve people's lives, okay? So let's go back. Let's go back and think about what does the Bitcoin computer network do, right? allows me to store my money in a place where governments can't mess with it. Valuable. It's easy for me to transact wherever I go. Valuable. It's recognized across the world. Valuable. It's infinitely transportable. I want to transport $1 trillion of that? Good luck. I need trucks. Or I need a digital form anyway. I want to transport $1 trillion of Bitcoin? I could do it in my head. Right? And it's inconfiscatable. It's incorruptible. So there's so many values to it. We're like, man, this computer system's great. I'm actually probably going to run one of these computers. I'm going to become a miner. That's what miners are doing. Or I'm going to buy one of these coins because I know, man, this coin thing, it's really useful to people. It's really useful. And people are going to want this. Especially, there's 21 million total ever to exist, and there's 51 million millionaires. So every millionaire could spend all their money, and they still couldn't get one. Okay, so I'm going to hold this until later on those millionaires want it, and maybe I can sell it to them. That's why you hold a coin of Bitcoin. Okay, it's like gold. Vitalik Buterin came along and went, you just connected a bunch of computers up together. Yeah. Okay, that's just like the internet, right? Internet is just a bunch of computers connected together, and they do stuff. We went, yep, that's it. And he went, I have an idea. How about I connect a computer up together, a bunch of computers up together in this new way that you guys are doing it, but I make it programmable, right? Because computers are programmable, like the internet is a bunch of computers. They're programmable into websites, and then people come and create 1 million different websites, right? And each one of those websites is worth like $1 trillion these days. If you have a good website with a good business model, hundreds of millions to billions to trillions of dollars of value can be on that one application that you built on those computers. He went, let me do it with these computers. He called it Ethereum. He connected the computers up together. Same thing, accounting book. How many Ethereum does each person have? Decentralized, nobody can mess with it. But there's a code running on top that says, build apps. Build apps on these computers. Okay? That's what we call layer 1. Whenever you hear the word layer 1, it's simply referring to the idea that these are the computers themselves that are running, the infrastructure that actually does the work to make the process happen, right? So, the computers are there, the infrastructure is there for Ethereum. You put a programmable, it's like a website builder, let's say, an app builder, code on top. And then people can come and build apps on top of Ethereum's computers. And that's what people are doing. There's literally tens of thousands of apps, they're called dApps, D-apps, decentralized apps, that are running on Ethereum, right? So now we're doing the same thing we did before, right? Before, what happened? Somebody came, hooked up a bunch of computers together, called them Google. Great, we started searching on it. Somebody came and went, here's a bunch of computers together. We're calling it iOS. Apple, iOS, the operating system, right? And now Apple's ecosystem is, they just created so much value across the world. And Apple went, that ecosystem has an app builder built in, right? The App Store. So builders came and built a bunch of apps. And those apps, like Tinder became valuable, and Uber became valuable, and all these apps became valuable because they're able to run on top of that system. Now, the value of Apple's system is even higher because it runs all of these apps, right? Same thing with Ethereum. When you buy an Ethereum, you're saying, I'm going to buy this coin, which technically all it does is it allows me to pay transaction fees again. Same thing as Bitcoin, right? All it does is it allows me to pay for the usage of the Ethereum computers in the form of a gas fee, right? And technically, it also becomes like an entry point into the ecosystem. But just for simple terms, the actual functionality is just to pay for transaction fees. And then people build thousands of apps on top. So the value of the usage of Ethereum is so high. Because what's happening is, now the computer system is needed to run all of those apps. The people who are running it need to pay transaction fees. And they need to pay transaction fees in Ethereum. So they need Ethereum. The demand for Ethereum is high. And therefore, the value of Ethereum is high. Okay? And with all of these things, so now that's not a currency. Technically, that's not a currency. Sure, I guess Ethereum you can use to pay for some stuff. Let's call Ethereum a currency. Fine, Ethereum's a currency that allows you to pay transaction fees. But the apps that are running on top, right? Let's say there's an app to run a DeFi protocol that allows you to get yield, right? What that means is you put money in you convert it into Ethereum, you convert it into the coin that protocol runs, and then you put it inside of a protocol, and the protocol holds your money, and because it's holding your money and you let it do stuff with your money, it pays you back in interest. That's what yield farming is basically. And now that coin of XYZ protocol that's running on top of Ethereum, that coin is technically not a currency. That coin is like holding a piece of that company. I'm just using words that we understand, but that coin is like holding a piece of that company, right? You're holding that coin because you're going, I think this is going to be more valuable because whatever that app does is valuable to the society, so I'm going to hold this because I know it's more valuable than society knows today, right? So they're not currencies. They're literally like, you can call them tokens. They are pieces of holding a company, and we all understand why we hold pieces of a company, because if you find a company that's going to be so valuable to society and they don't realize it, you buy it early, take the risk of buying it early, and later on when society realizes it and wants to pay you a much higher valuation for it, then you sell it back to them, and that's why you get the value added to your life, because you supported something that was useful for society. So now if you think about it, what we're actually doing is we're building a new internet. This is no small time game. This is us building the new internet. And the old internet was a bunch of computers run by companies, and somebody's got to pay for those companies. Some trillionaire has to come in and take all the risk of that company to run it. What we're doing now is this is a new internet that's funded by us, that's supported by us. And if we use it, it becomes more valuable. If we don't use it, then society didn't need it and the thing dies, right? But what that actually does is it revolutionizes how humans work. It revolutionizes how humans work. Before the internet, humans were phone call to phone call. It was like, I need something done, pick up a phone, call a human answers, agreed, hangs up the phone, calls another human, I need this done. Some human at the end goes, I gotta do the work, all these people want things done, and then shovels the thing into a truck for you, puts your marble slabs into a pallet, and then ships them off to somebody, right? That's how the world worked. For the last 30 years, 25 years at the max, realistically, we came up with computers where you just went, right? And that triggered something in a computer, triggered something in a computer, triggered something in a computer, and a human still put the pallet in, but without having to go through people. That's why we're sitting here. Every single person in this room, I guarantee you, is sitting here because of the internet. Because if we could not run our businesses with the tips of our thumbs, this room would be hella empty, because you would be back in the country where you're working, and that country you would only be able to communicate in the right time zones, blah, 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 right? And then this thing came out, and it just completely revolutionized how we work. Like, down to how we run businesses, how we pay attention, how our lives are lived, how our brains are our nervous systems are built. Everything got changed when this thing came along. This new way of connecting computers together, you don't even understand. Like, if I could explain to you the enormity of what's going on around you, I would, but I can't. It's because the revolution of technology happens at an exponentially growing rate, okay? Radio took 50 years, TV took 30 years, internet took like 20 years, crypto's gonna take the next 10 years. It's already been here for 10 years, just kind of sizzling. Within the next 10 years, every single thing is gonna be taken over by crypto. Like, think about it. Right now, I wanna buy stocks, right? And I just went through this with somebody. When she needs to buy stocks, she goes to her financial advisor, goes, I wanna buy stocks. They go, sounds good. You don't know which ones, right? She goes, no. They're like, we'll pick the ones that are good for you. In reality, they're saying, we'll pick the ones that will make us the most amount of money, ma'am, because you don't know what you're talking about. So they pick the stocks that make them the most amount of money, and they go to their processing partner, and they go, hey, it's a platform, and they go, hey, we want to buy this many stocks for, not even buy this many, here's a bunch of money from this lady. She doesn't own the stocks, and you guys can buy the stocks for her, and we'll kind of like keep track of how much money you make. And they're like, yeah, we want a cut. They go, yeah, sure, you take your cut too. And then that platform goes to a broker and says, hello, we, the platform, would like to purchase this many stocks. The platform goes, yeah, we'll let you purchase it, but we got to take a cut, right? And they're like, yeah, you take your cut too, don't worry, there's like 3 of us at this point. And the brokerage goes to a clearinghouse and goes, hello, we would like to purchase XYZ stocks. And the clearinghouse goes, oh yeah, no problem, one sec. shoots a message to Goldman Sachs and goes, hey, these guys are buying $1 million worth of these stocks. And Goldman goes, oh, really? That's nice. Okay, well, here's $1 million of that's purchased. Raise up the price a cent, and then sell it to them for a cent more, and we made the spread. Great, you take your fees too. Now there's 4 of you taking fees out of a 5-person supply chain. People don't even know that this is how the world works. This is literally how the world works. Literally. As soon as you make the transaction, you're probably going to have a bunch of middlemen. By the time it gets to the brokerage, and when the brokerage shoots a message to the clearinghouse, before the message of the clearinghouse comes back, which will take about 200 milliseconds, sometimes 300 milliseconds, depending on where you are in the world, within single-digit milliseconds, a message will go out to Goldman Sachs, and Goldman will have made the purchase of those stocks before the message even comes back that, hey, we've bought your stocks. And by the time the message comes back and says, hey, we bought the stock, you bought the stock from Goldman. Okay? The reason why I'm highlighting this is, who asked Goldman to make a bunch of money on it? Who asked the bank to make a bunch of money? Why do I got to pay this guy and that guy and that guy and that guy? And then these guys, the bankers, they just take money for no reason? Like, they're not even involved in the transaction. So with crypto, it's like, I want to send it to you. Right? Okay, I got to pay the guy who did the transaction. Somebody did the work. Okay, here's a little tiny bit for you, but here's most of the money to you. No middlemen. No, you don't even have to know me. We don't even have to meet face to face. If you have something I need, and I just send you the thing, and you send me the stuff, we don't even have to know each other or meet. No middlemen, no nothing. Okay? So now with this new computer system, I don't need brokers. I don't need lawyers. I don't need financial managers. I can just, in my pocket, click, 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 click. You know how much that revolutionizes the world? So now, stocks are going to move to crypto, blockchain, by 2024. Between 2024 and 2028, they're all going to move. Commodities are going to move to crypto. What we're doing right now is like, okay, think about this. There's mines in Chile, right? That are existing, that are functioning, that are creating copper. Right, in the normal world, we're like, hey, we got these mines, we want to buy more trucks, we want to buy more mines. You would go to like some rich people and be like, hey, give us money for mines. And they'd be like, no, prove all this stuff, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. And they'd be like, well, how much money do you want? We want $3.5 million. $3.5 million is a lot of money. And for me to take a $3.5 million risk on your company, how long is it going to take for me to get my money back? I don't know, 5 years, 10 years until we go public? Well, I'm not going to risk $3.5 million for 10 years hoping that you can give it back unless I know you have a good track record, right? Or even like if I know you or I trust you or whatever. What we're doing is we're taking those mines, we're breaking them up into little chunks called tokens, okay, registering it as a security. And anybody in any country across the world, without even having to do anything, can just go to the website, select the token, and buy it. And they can buy $1 of a mine. And now, if they stake it, whatever money the mine makes, it pays them dividends from the money that the mine's making. This is a completely new way of doing it. When I ask you $1, you're like, it's $1. Okay, if I lose the dollar, whatever. But if I make it, the dollar's going to make me money for the rest of my life. Great, that's a good bet. Okay, so commodities are now moving to the blockchain. Money is moving to the blockchain. The internet is moving to the blockchain. It is going to revolutionize the universe so much, we're literally creating a new universe. It's called the metaverse. We're literally, tangibly and physically bringing this entire world into the virtual. But the part nobody talks about is the entire virtual world is coming to the physical. Pretty soon, we'll all be wearing glasses where we will see things which are not there. We'll all hallucinate together. Seriously, this screen will become completely pointless when you all have glasses on. Because you'll have glasses, you'll have screens in your faces. And when I go, a screen will appear here, and I'll just be able to use a screen here, and I can put it on my shoulder, and I can just walk around, and you'll just see a screen on my shoulder as I'm walking around presenting stuff, right? So this new way of hooking up computers together is the transition of power and wealth and capacity and value from the centralized, jurisdictionally controlled world that we live in, right? Countries control jurisdictions, which control where companies are, which controls what those companies do, and the agendas those companies push. If you're new, welcome to the conspiracy circle, because the global elite have been working a very long time to get past these pesky governments, telling them what to do and what not to do, okay? Their plan is make everything supranational. Where's Bitcoin? I don't know. Which country is it in? I can't even tell. I don't even know where these computers are. Actually, they're everywhere, okay? Where are these apps running? I don't know. Who owns them? I don't know. Who owns Bitcoin? I don't fucking know, right? So it's like, so which country is going to regulate it? I don't know, right? So what they're doing is they're taking control out of countries, out of companies, out of things. They're saying they're giving it to us, but they're not. They're actually giving it to algorithms, okay? It's called blockchain. Blockchain. People are looking for freedom from something that blocks you and chains you. Like, this is the way to freedom. No, it isn't, bro. This is the same thing as the internet. Remember the internet was the mode to freedom? How free does it feel now? You feeling the freedom that we had back in, like, my generation? We're like, yeah, torrents. And then you gave us Netflix for $11. We're like, fuck torrents. Like, I'll pay $11 not to have to download torrents, bro. That's all it took. It took $11 for us to give us our freedom. It was $9 actually at that point. It was so cheap. But that's what we do. We go, yeah, we want freedom. And they went, give me your arm. I want to put something in there. And we're like, yeah, put two. Third one if you like. Like, fuck it, just keep stabbing me. Like, that's how long it takes for us to give up our freedom. So this stage where we are today is the deployment of these computers before the big money gets there. And what they're hoping to God is you just don't understand that this is the game that's being played. They're just hoping that you don't understand that you're holding the usage capacity of computers that they got to build the next world on. And you're the idiot who's holding it and watching it go up and getting happy and not selling it. And when it goes down, you want to sell it to us. And they're like, yes, let's scare the shit out of these fools and take it all from them, right? But what also happened in this process is people made a bunch of shit coins. Because when there's $2 trillion of hypothetical value sitting somewhere, the scammers come out of the woodwork. So they have made it like 15,000 different money traps for you. There's 20,000 cryptocurrencies, 15,000 of them are beautifully built money traps. They look really good sometimes. I'm sorry, but I'm going to say Luna. It looked really good, right? And I was just looking at it, I was like, but if I put too much money here and then I do this, then the whole thing dies, right? And you start to tell that to people like, but there's a monetary hack built into the system. But people don't understand it. People don't see it because it looks so fucking amazing. At some point I was like, dude, this is a crusher. Like, this is amazing. And Wall Street comes along and goes, oh yeah, you guys all believe it yet? Yeah, we believe it. Guess what? And they just take everybody's money and they run away with it, okay? So what's partially going on is there is a wealth transfer happening from those people that live in the world of factories, right? Remember factories and production and stuff, most amount of value sitting in there. Internet comes along, reduces the amount of costs around those factories in many ways and takes up a lot of the value and creates new value generation mechanisms. Now we're having a full-on transfer from the owners of the physical world to the owners of the digital world. Restaurant owners, not making money. Real estate owners, not making money. Commercial real estate owners, dude. In the middle of New York, giant tower owners who thought like buying a tower in the middle of New York, a commercial building, there's no way we will go broke. They're going broke. Oil, we're using less. The physical world is shutting down. They're not making money. Who's making the money? The techies. The ones who some kid who just clicked the button to start mining Bitcoin when he was playing video games 10 years ago, he's now a billionaire. There's literally a billionaire who was one of the richest people, at one point was the richest person on earth like 60 years ago. He's actually going broke. So there's this wealth transfer going on, right? It's going on from the people who are still stuck in the system where they need to accumulate currencies. They need to accumulate pieces of paper in their bank accounts, those people. because they're putting it in the bank accounts and it's just being stolen and handed to the rich people. That's how it's being done. It's being printed and given to the people. There's a new world of people who went, I'm just going to buy digital shit that's valuable. All right? People are like, why do you buy digital land? I don't know, bro. Why did you buy web addresses before we knew what people were going to do with them? It's just purchasing stuff that you think is going to be valuable later on, right? This new form of internet does something really important. Now we own pieces of the internet. This is great. Google, I couldn't own a piece unless I went and bought stock. And when I tried to buy stock, they're like, are you accredited? Do you have $1 million? And you go, no, I don't have $1 million because you won't let me buy Google stock, you idiot. And they're like, oh, well, you can't buy Google stock. It's like, okay, well, great. Okay, we will figure out another way. No problem. You will not give me the money. I will make my own way. That's what we said in India, right? I bet in India they're just constantly like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. Okay? So that's what we're doing, my friends. We are reinventing money and gold and commodities and internet and apps and Tinder and porn and every single thing. Yeah, literally, there's Cumrocket is a crypto, right? When I heard about it, I laughed so hard. I was like, what a name, Cumrocket. Wow. This must be a meme. No. It's made to let sex workers make payments who have a very difficult time making payments. Dude, it exploded. Pun intended. It exploded. Okay? And so then you think about like, well, that's a useful thing, right? Like it's the oldest profession and they don't have good banking. So like, you know. So that's what we're doing. What we're doing is we're reinventing every single thing around you. Even the metaverse is going to literally reinvent everything you see and everything you experience. We will have virtual assistants walking next to us. It'll be like, hi, meet Siri. She's not real. And you'll be like, hi, I see you, Siri. Hello. And I'll be like, Siri, can you please do this? She'll be like, I do not understand. Like Siri always does, right? I'm just kidding. But that world, that's happening right live around you. Screens, we won't need them. Laptops, we won't need them. Cameras, we won't need them. Being here, you won't need it. You could just pop into existence here. Why would you have to come here? You know, we can feel the physical presence of our loved ones. I had a lucid dream the other day, and I was just thinking like, I'm going to be able to do this in virtual reality. In VR, I can just, every single time I have a lucid dream, the first thing I go is like, it's a lucid dream. And I just fly, right? And I'm flying, and I'm thinking like, man, it'd be so fucking nice to fly just like this. Like, no jetpacks and stuff, just fly, right? And then I'm like, I can't wait for VR. I can't wait for that experience, a hallucinogenic VR that's coming that's going to allow me to fly. Now, we have good lives, and we want to fly. Imagine most of the world that's not in Bali. They want to fly from their lives as much as they possibly can. So the world is being invented live for you. That is going to be every single thing that you touch and interact with and think about and exist within. The entire universe, everything that you see and smell and hear and everything is being reinvented, and it's being put on these fucking computers. All right, when you listen to the governments, when you listen to the World Economic Forum, when you listen to all of them, they're screaming from the rooftops, great reset. And that's great wording too. The Great Reset, right? We all think it's great because we keep calling it the Great Reset. But the Great Reset is like, that old system, bye-bye. This new system is live, okay? So what you're holding is, you are holding the next stage of the internet, plus oil, plus banking, plus money, plus gold, plus memes, plus metaverse, plus gaming, plus, that's what you're holding. If I went back 20, 25 years ago and I told you, I will get you the best gaming stocks and gold stocks and tech stocks and money stocks and energy stocks and everything. I'll get you the best everything. Before the companies are even known, before the world even knows that those companies are worth something. You would be a hyper quadrillionaire, right? That's what you're doing right now. So now why aren't we all rich, Sam? You keep telling me I'm holding all the stuff. Explain to me why I'm not rich. Okay, so in reality, we have only had a few asset classes for all of history. Okay, like way back in the day, it was just like property. Property was the asset class. That's it. Whoever owns, thousands of years ago, Roman times, whoever owned property was it. Currency became an asset class about 3000 BC. Yeah, 3000 BC, I'm pretty sure. China made paper forms of money. But even before that, we had money. So money, cash was an asset class, right? Gold and property. And then, I think it was like 200 years ago or something, the Dutch came along and went, we have a new asset for you to buy. It's called stocks. It's called equity in a company. Because what they did is, they went, well, we want to go across the ocean, but I don't want to take all the risk. Let's pool money together, and let's put it into an entity, and that entity will allow somebody to go across the ocean, because it's really expensive, and it lowers my risk. So they're like, okay, cool, let's create the East India Dutch company, right? But what they did is they created an entity that people could put money into, that if that entity did what it went out to do, it would make a shit ton of money. Therefore, the value of the entity would go up. Therefore, the people who invested in it would get that money back, okay? That created a new asset class called stocks, equities, right? Asset classes are ways for you to invest into something that generates value for the world, and then you can get some value back by holding that from the beginning, right? Then somebody came along and went, wait a minute. So the prices of these things fluctuate. These companies fluctuate. I mean, there's a company, oh, we could do this with like commodities, right? So they went, oh, commodities is a asset class to invest in. You can invest in copper, you can invest in rice, you can invest in gold, whatever, because it's needed for the world. And as the price of it goes up, your value will go up. So that became an asset class. Then somebody went, yeah, but the prices of these commodities fluctuate, right? One day rice is worth $1, then the next day is worth 50 cents. I'm running a restaurant. I need prices to be consistent for the next year so I can run my business properly. How about this? I bet you that the price of this rice will be $1 a year from now. And if it's not, then I'll pay you. If it is, then you pay me to make sure that it stays at $1. So somebody went, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I'll take that bet. So that created the derivatives class. Okay, derivatives are simply bets on the future price of something going up and down. And these are the asset classes that we've had. And then, there's financial products like, whatever, you just call it financial products / equities class, right? Those were the only ways to invest. Or bonds. Bonds is another one from governments. Like governments give you debt and they promise to pay you interest on money that you give them. So that's an asset class, right? Crypto comes along and it doesn't fit into any of those categories. It's a new asset class. It's a completely new place to be able to keep your money between those different asset classes where it will grow. And it is so new, it is so new that you're earlier than the early people. Like you're early, not even just early. You're so early that you're sitting here wondering like, am I gonna lose all my money today? Right? That's the asset class that you're in. And if you've been watching the markets, it sure feels like it. Sure feels like we're all going to zero, right? But trust me, this happened in 2012, 2013, 2011, 2013, 2017. This is just how this process goes, right? So, first of all, any more questions in the meantime? Hi. Do you have any questions? You, yes, you. I'm talking to you. Sit up a little bit. Come on, you got to have your back straight. Hey, there you go. That's good. How you been? All right, so why aren't we all rich, Sim? It's because we keep buying what's not oil, right? If I'm telling you they're reinventing oil, they're reinventing banking, they're reinventing this, they're reinventing that, they're reinventing that, we keep buying stuff that isn't reinventing that. Because here's a rule of crypto, okay? Or investing in general. If you can't tell me where the money's coming from, it's coming from you. If you can't tell me where the money's coming from, it's coming from you, from your own pocket, right? And remember that as a rule, because you go like, okay, well, I buy Bitcoin, I get money out of Bitcoin. Where's the money coming from? The money is coming from people who really want this thing, okay? People who are willing to spend a lot of money to buy this thing off of you because they think it's valuable. That's where the money's coming from, and this is reliably valuable. You go, all right, that's cool. It's kind of like a Ponzi, but that's cool. Like markets in general are kind of like a Ponzi, but like somebody wants it, sure, I'll sell it to them. Then there are a million other coins which are not valuable like Bitcoin, because we all just think of them as Bitcoins. You know, most beginners are like Bitcoin and other Bitcoins, right? It's like, no, those are imposters which aren't valuable. They convince you that they're valuable. You go and like, they'll say, we're giving 80,000% interest, like Time did, Wonderland did. I remember one of my friends, he's like, I want to invest in this thing. I was like, I've never heard of it. He's like, it's giving me 80,000% interest. And I was like, give me $1 million, I'll give you 80,000%. And he's like, no. Why would I do that? I was like, why wouldn't you give me, you trust me, why won't you give me $1 million and I'll promise you 80,000%? He's like, because that's impossible. And I was like, yeah. And they're promising you 80,000%? First of all, logically, that just doesn't make sense. But let's just ignore the 80,000%. Let's just go, where's the money coming from? And you go, no, you take money and you stake it and you put it somewhere and then it earns yields. From what? Who's paying them 80,000% to do some work? I'd really like to find out that line of work and hook myself up into it. And when you look into it, they're not doing shit. They're not doing shit. They're just convincing you to give them the money. And they take the money and then they pump it up. And they take the money and then they pump it up. And they take the money and then they pump it up. And eventually, they go, oops, we got hacked. Oops, money's gone. Oops, we just ran away. Oops, we're just deleting everything. Oops, the project didn't work out. That's the reason why we're not rich. Because we keep going and finding shit in a pile of oil and money and banking and data and everything being revolutionized. We just don't know how to pick the stuff that's not shit. So here's a good way of doing it. There's 20,000 cryptocurrencies out there, right? All right. I'm just going to go with the top 100. The top 100 is like $1 billion and above in market value, right? That means there's projected to be $1 billion of value sitting in this thing. So that means somebody's done like tens of millions of dollars worth of research at least to make sure there's $1 billion worth of value sitting in there. That means I can rely on 10 million or $100 million of research to know that this thing is safe. Okay, that's a simple way of doing it if you're a beginner. Now, there are ones in the top 100 that will steal all your money too. Don't think that that's the only thing you can do, but you can mitigate your risk. You can take it from 20,000 cryptocurrencies and you can go down to the top 0.5% of cryptocurrencies that are proven their use cases, and you can pick out of those. Okay, that reduces your likelihood of losing money so much, it's not even funny. And you don't have to just buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, contrary to what everybody's telling you. Once you have the top 100, then you go, okay, well, the ones at the top are the safest because they have like $1 trillion of value sitting in it. And by the way, when it says $1 trillion market cap, that doesn't mean there's $1 trillion of actual money sitting in there. Usually that means like 300 billion to 400 billion sitting in there, 450. I'd say $400,000 million of value is sitting in Bitcoin. 400,000 million. 400,000 million, yeah. If somebody put $400,000 million somewhere, I'm sure they looked into it. They did their due diligence better than I could. I mean, like, I'm Satoshi, so like that's different. But I'm sure I could do due diligence better than those guys. But then there's another coin that's like, its valuation is like 1 million, and they're like, what are you gonna do? We're gonna change the world. And you go, how? We're building a DeFi protocol that gives 80,000%. And you go like, from where? From the people who give us money. And it's like, all right, man, never mind. So you ask the question, what does it do? What does it do, right? That what does it do is gonna really make you dig, because you're gonna read the white paper and you're gonna learn about the stuff and you're gonna go, I still don't know what it does. Then you're gonna go to the website and read, and they're gonna give you all these words and you're still not gonna know what they do. We're a decentralized platform for improving payments capacity across disparate regions using blockchain and blah, 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 blah. It's like English, some crypto shit, English, some crypto shit, English, some crypto shit, right? And you're just like, Right? This is the predicament of most average people. They're just like, I still don't know what it does. I don't know literally what the thing does. If you're at that stage, don't buy it. Because there's somebody out there who understands better than you what it does. Right? So it's like the goal is to answer that question in a way that you can conceptualize, right? If I go, you're like, what does Bitcoin does? And I go, it's like gold. It like stores value where governments can't hack it. You're like, oh, well, that sounds good, and that's English. And that sounds like a kind of thing I would want. Okay, then maybe I'll put my money there. What does Ethereum do? Oh, it's a bunch of computers you can program with apps and shit. There's like thousands running on top. And you go, I think that makes sense? Yeah, like the internet. Okay, that kind of makes sense. I'll buy that. It's a super activated yield platform that uses new age technology to provide you 15% per month. And you're like, what it does is gives me 15% per month. You're like, yes. And you're like, cool. No, that's not a function. Making money is not a function. Okay? Making money is not, the act of making money, it does not add value to society. If the reason you're buying something is because it makes you money, what you're doing is you're hoping somebody else doesn't take all your money before the bank run happens, okay? So what does it do? Answer the question in a way that you could tell me in one sentence. And I mean, if I go, what's Bitcoin? And you go, it's like gold, I'm like, cool. I don't even need anything more than that. It's like gold. Great. You get gold, right? Yeah, I get gold. Well, great. You get Bitcoin then. But if you can't even answer that one sentence question, you're fucked, right? Because what's actually happening is there is a fundamental change of the entire world around us happening. Right now, value is controlled by custodians, and it moves very, very sluggishly compared to the speed that life moves at. Value is held by banks. Value is held by, well, we say stockbrokers, but the brokers have it with clearinghouses. But the point is, value is held by stockbrokers. Value is held by the government that holds the book that has the real estate ledger on it. Value is held by companies that own the commodities or the mining, right? So the value is held by all these custodians. You want some value? What you gonna do? You gonna dance? You gonna do something? Then you can have a little bit of this value. And even that we give you this value, it doesn't even go to you. It goes from our bank to that bank. So the value still isn't with you. It's held by a custodian for you. So when, like, I've been trying to get somebody's investing in a project and they're trying to send money from the US to a US account with our company here, right? It's been a month and a half. And the guy's been trying to send the money. The bank asks questions, stops them. Where you send the money? Why are you sending the money? He sends it. In review, staying in review. Sorry, didn't work. Data's not right. And then he tried another method. Sorry, failed. Another method. And now he's like, man, I don't know if I can invest in this thing. Like, I'm scared my money's gonna end up somewhere stupid, right? That's how money moves. It's been a month and a half, money still hasn't arrived. Even when he sent it, it would take 5 days to arrive. Because it's gonna go from a custodian bank to JP Morgan in New York. JP Morgan's gonna contact Citibank here. Citibank is gonna talk to OCBC. Each one of them is gonna take a cut along the way and charge me $45 to move money that's digital, that's supposed to move in instantly, right? I wanna buy stocks, I gotta go to my financial product planner, who's gonna talk to a platform, who's gonna talk to a broker, who's gonna talk to the exchange. And then the way I own the stocks is somebody somewhere holds them and just goes, yeah, I think these belong to Sim. But if we don't like him, maybe he's Russian, we'll just take him. He's Russian, fuck him. What the fuck? What the fuck, man? We have Russian friends. They're just like us. They're just a little bit more dickish, but other than that, they're like just like us, almost. No, he's Ukrainian. Don't be racist. He's the one being attacked, bro.
I'm not referring to that, actually.
No, but it's like, what? Wait, what? They did everything legally. They bought that yacht legally. They have a yacht, you're jealous? Fuck you. All right? But they just went, they're Russian. We're taking everything from their banks. We're taking all their real estate. We're taking everything. wake the fuck up. Guess who's about to be Russian next? We're all about to get Russianed. And then we're going to be rushing to the bank to get the money out, and it's not going to be there. Okay? This is a fact. So, it's happening everywhere. Happening in Sri Lanka, it's happening in Turkey. You just got to watch. You got to watch what's actually going on. It's already happening to your bank accounts. The moment COVID happened, and they went, we're printing this $10 trillion worth of liabilities on $20 trillion of debt. Wait, they have $20 trillion of debt and they printed another 10 trillion? They printed 50% of their debt? And my currency is based on the dollar? If you're somebody who's been holding the euro for the last 2 years, dude, you just got crushed. You just got crushed. You just lost like 50, 60% of your value. And the number in the bank still stays $1 million. But remember, that million is going to turn into 1 million rupiah. Yeah, it's going to buy a fucking burger one day. And it'll still be 1 million. Okay? I mean, 1 million rupiah burger, that's a nice burger, right? But it's probably like a Kempinski burger, you know? Yeah, and like an aquarium, and you're like sitting there like, I eat the burger, right? So that's how the money works today. Custodians, control, take it from me whenever you feel like it. The new world that's coming, it's not going to be what you think. If you're a crypto head and you're sitting here like, he's going to say the world of free transactions and we can just do whatever we... No, not at all. Quite the contrary. The world that's coming is going to be one where value transitions to digital modalities of transport, and it's transportable across the world at a millisecond without custodians being in the middle, okay? We're taking mines and breaking them up into little pieces. Now the mines can move across the world. Bitcoin is like gold that moves across the world instantly. In that case, when a friend wants to send me money, and I'm forwarding it to a company that's creating a token that's going to that's going to issue the tokens and it's going to send it back to the friend. In that world, in the new world, I'll just set up a smart contract, and they'll set up a smart contract, and the friend will set up a smart contract. Without ever even meeting, he'll just go buy. The money will transfer to my smart contract. It'll trigger. It'll go to the company smart contract. That'll trigger. And the coins will arrive back within 3 seconds. He will have bought mines in 3 seconds. And I won't even have to ask, did it arrive? Did that happen? I'll just get a notification saying, ding, it's done. But I can even just, as long as he clicks his button from that side, it will automatically do this. You want to buy real estate in Bali? Good luck. It's going to take you a year of due diligence just to get to the point to verify if this guy even owns the real estate, right? Before you even get to the point of being like, should I even buy it? And then you're going to go to your broker or your banker and go, I need $1 million. They're going to go, oh, why? And you're going to be like, I need to buy a house. They're like, but why though? But like, we have the money. And you're going to be like, give me my fucking money. You're going to be like, it's not your money. It's our money. You gave it to us, and you want it? Do you really want the house? And you're gonna be like, it's not gonna be fun, okay? Especially if it's the last million that's in the bank. If it's the last million in the bank, oh, your money is gonna take some time to come out. There's gonna be a lot of convincing you not to take the money out. But okay, you take the money out, you bring it here, you already lost like a few $1,000s in transaction fees. To move $1 million, dude, $1 million isn't heavier than $100. Right? It doesn't take more processing, but you're going to take bigger fees because you know I'm richer. So then I have the $1 million here, and then in order for me to transfer it to this guy, first of all, I had to do all this due diligence and pay lawyers and governments just to check the registry to get to the point where I can verify it and hope to God that it's right and I didn't get Bali scammed. And then I have to like transfer the money in the right way to make sure that the sign is done and all the stuff is done, and then I can send the money to, and so it's going to take me like a year to buy real estate. So what we're doing is we're breaking up the real estate into little chunks called tokens, registering it with the government, and then doing all the due diligence and putting them up somewhere. So you're like, I want $40 of Bali real estate. Boom, Bali real estate. I want $70 of Portuguese real estate. Boom. Now I own little pieces of real estate across the world in a second. I've eliminated governments, I've eliminated lawyers, I've eliminated time. A year's worth of my time and energy, the most valuable and expensive thing, all fixed, okay? You walk into a restaurant, you eat, and you walk out. And the restaurant will facially scan you, know your digital ID, auto charge, your smart contracts will trigger, money will move, go to the right people, boom. I know as soon as I said like facially scan, people are like, what did you just say? Yeah, facially scanned. It's going to represent your QR code, your digital ID. You will be as traceable, you'll be way more traceable in the digital world than you are in the physical world. Once you do that, and you have the right social credit, if you have assets, which is what we're talking about, you're gonna live the life of like magic. You're gonna live a magical life. Because what's happening is, we're all living in a world that's based on the US dollar, right? We're all living in a world that all our currencies are based on the US dollar, all of our money is based on the US dollar, houses are based on the US dollar, stocks are based on the US dollar, everything is denominated in the US dollar. They're printing that to infinity. So you can store all the dollars you want, you'll go broke no matter what, because they'll just print it at a faster and faster rate. And eventually they're gonna have money that even expires, CBDCs. But on the other side, the people who have assets that are valuable, their asset prices just keep going up. You know, you print 10 more trillions of dollars, the prices go up another, you know, you printed 50% more dollars, prices go up 50%, right? So no matter how much money they print over here, your assets, if you hold solid shit, will go up in value, in dollar denominated value. Then when you need to spend money, you're not gonna be spending Bitcoin. You're gonna be converting your assets through an exchange process to whichever currency you need in whichever country you need, but you will pay in that currency. In Indonesia, today you try to pay with anything other than Bitcoin and you get put in jail. Expect that to not reduce, expect that to get stronger. So what we're doing is we're transitioning from the world that is based on the dollar and we're moving to a world that's based on anything other than the dollar that's valuable. For me, it's XRP. For me, I'm denominating my entire life in XRP. If I buy assets and they go up in value and XRP goes up in value and then I denominate it by XRP and I say, shit, I could have just held XRP and I would have made more XRP, that's my bottom line. Some people are doing it with Ethereum, some people are doing it with Bitcoin. You gotta denominate your life in these digital assets. Because if you do that, the person who has assets that are going up in this crazy way against currencies that are dropping in value, you can then just go to a bank and go, okay, well, today, right? Don't do this today. You're gonna get wrecked. Some people just got wrecked doing this today. Just saying, when the market is at a bottom, verifiable bottom, which I think it's pretty close to a bottom right now anyway, but my point is, you can go to a bank and you can say, hey, look, I have $1 million of these assets. Give me a $100,000 loan against this. They'll go, yeah, 100%. You give us like $200,000 of those assets to hold and we'll let you have a $100,000 loan. You go, great. You take the $100,000 loan, which at that time buys you $100,000 worth of stuff. You go buy $100,000 worth of stuff. Like what I do is I just take that and I go set up revenue streams. I'm like, what's the loan interest rate? They go like 2%, 3%. And I go, great. And I just go set up revenue streams that make me like 50 to 100% a year. And I keep the 47% and I pay them the 3%. Okay, so now I have businesses that make me money constantly no matter what. Or you could just take that 100,000 and be like, I want shoes. Right? That's tax-free money, first of all. Loans are always tax-free. I want shoes. Great. Shoes, cars, private jet flights, do whatever you want. And then because the assets were at a low valuation at that point, 2 years later when they're way higher, they're 10 times higher than where they were when they were before. Now, you know, earlier 300,000 or whatever, 100,000 was 10% of your total value. They go up 10%, now you're at 10 million. And 100,000 is nothing when it comes to 10 million. So you can just go back to the bank and be like, give me another 100,000 loan. They go, great. Take another 100,000 loan against 10 million. Go and buy stuff. Ideally businesses that generate revenue and you spend that revenue. Or you can just spend the money. But the point is, your assets keep going up in value faster than the value of the loans going up. Now, 10 years later, you want to pay back whatever. Let's say you borrowed $100,000 a year. You got $1 million debt. You want to pay back the debt. That initial investment of $1 million is now worth $100 million. Because you're going to pay off $1 million against $100 million. And then down that road, $1 million buys what 1 million rupiah buys by that time. So it's like I borrow enough to get a house and I pay back enough to get a burger. This is how the wealthy are playing this game. They're transitioning their wealth They're transitioning. I literally saw a $1,000 Wagyu slice in Montenegro. And I was like, I'm not touching that. I'm not rich enough. I'm getting a job at McDonald's after what happened to crypto. Okay? But that's what's going on. There is a new asset class that's been created that is set up to create a world where those people who sit in the dollar side of things will lose all of their money, and that is how you will own nothing, and apparently you will be jumping for joy. Okay, that's their quote. You will own nothing, and you'll be so cheery. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes, right? So that's how you will own nothing. You will own shit, but the stuff is going to become so expensive to service that it's going to be a liability, and you're going to sell it. You owned a business. We shut down the world. Now what you going to do? It's too expensive. Sell it. Sell it to us. Bring it back. I have real estate. It's leverage and mortgage. I can't pay the mortgage. Give us the real estate. Give us the houses. Oh, you own the real estate. You think you're safe because you own the real estate. First of all, you're Russian. Take it. You don't own shit. We just changed the entry in the book. Oh, you posted that thing on social media that disagreed with some stabbing that we wanted to do. Take it. Your shit is gone. Oh, you're a perfectly legitimate, compliant owner who's doing everything the way that we're telling you to. Yeah, we have a new tax. It's called an ESG tax. And we're increasing property taxes because you're destroying the environment by owning shit, by owning this land. You got to pay to own this land. Then you're like, okay, I thought this land was going to make me money. And then property values collapse in dollars because the dollars are becoming worthless over time. So property values can't go up exponentially the way the dollars do. So they actually collapse in dollar denominated value. And in actual value, they go up in dollar denominated value, but the actual purchasing power goes down. Now you're over here making all this money, paying for this real estate, and it's growing in how much it's charging you. What? That doesn't make any sense. Whereas the digital people, they're like, we're going to take it. And you're like, are you? Come and take it, bro. You know, where is it? Right here. I have it stored in my head. It's a passphrase, and a piece of that's stored in my head. Take it. They're like, according to Indonesian laws, and you go, what? It's not in Indonesia. What are you talking about? They're like, but you're like, okay, one sec. I'm not in Indonesia. They're like, we're going to take your land. You're like, I don't have any. We're going to take your businesses. I don't own anything, actually. My trusts and structures do. You said the wrong thing on social media. You were making these videos, and we're going to take it. We're like, take it. I'm broke. You owe me money. You owe me those stimmy checks, bro. Like, I'm making $0. You better send me that $3,000, right? So this is the world that we're living in. The people in that old world, losing everything. The people in the new digital world, we are gaining everything because the next 100 years, many hundred years, but at least the next 100 years, will be lived more in the metaverse space than they will be lived in the real space. I'm really sorry. To all my Yabudian friends in the house, I apologize. But yeah, it's the truth. It's the truth. Kids nowadays are living in the virtual more than they are in reality anyway. You know, you tell a kid, go play outside, they go, one sec, I'm gonna go play inside, and they'll jump on a game and start hanging out with their friends, right? And they're not wrong, because they're gonna live in a digital world. We're the ones who are like, no, I like grass. I like grounding. I like the ground, right? And it's true, I love grounding. That's why I'm barefoot in the first place, right? But, so you either get with that fucking world or get out, okay? You either get in, you take your dollars from a place where they're safe, the number stays the same, and you take it and you put it into something, and the moment you put it in, the number goes, you're like, no, I don't want this number to go down, because this number is similar to the bank account number. It looks the same to me, to my brain, and the bank account number, when it goes down, my self-worth goes down, and my immune system goes down, and my health goes down, and my mental security goes down, and my throat dries up, right? And then when the number goes up, you go, when this number was at that number, I was so rich, so I'm rich. and then it goes down again. And you go, I just lost this much number. And then you go back into depression like, I just lost this much money. No, you never made money or sold money or lost money or anything. Actually, if you just did that, if you bought something, when it went down, how much money did you lose? Nothing. When it went up, how much money did you make? Nothing. When it went down, how much money did you lose? Nothing, bro. I still haven't sold my original thing. I put 100 grand in at the beginning. It went to $1 million, then it went to 100. Now it's back at 5 million. How much money did I make? Zero, actually. I didn't make shit. I've been broke. I'm buying nasi goreng, right? Not that broke people buy nasi goreng. I just love nasi goreng nasi jingo was my favorite. Man, when I came to Bali, I lived off a nasi jingo for like 3 weeks, 5 weeks. Every day, just like 3 nasi jingos from the guy on the corner, just sit there and blah, 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 eat it. It fixed all my health issues. So what you're doing is, you can either pick and choose the safety of this world, numbers that stay the same in banks, but in the background, they're stealing all your shit without you even realizing it, but it feels good. It feels nice to have a number in a bank. Or you can go over here, where the whole thing, where it's like, it's like, it's an emotional roller coaster like you've never been on. It will build you, it will destroy you, it will build you again, it will destroy. It's like, people want to find themselves. This crypto's a place to find yourself. Because when you put money in, and it just goes, bam, you become the real you, bro. You really become, if you're an asshole, you become an asshole. If you're a nice guy, you just go back to the loved people and go like, I just want to hug you guys. What happened? Crypto crashed. I love you. I love you. Even when I have no money, and honey, I have no money right now, I love you. Do you love me still? Okay, cool. We're cool, right? So, but contrary to what may seem like is happening, what you're actually doing is you're transitioning your wealth from a system that is destroying it verifiably to a system that if you can ride this roller coaster, you are there early on the other side of the wall with your, like, when you buy some crypto, think about it like a bucket. You got a bucket and you're sitting there and you're just riding the waves up and down. And at some point, a tsunami of money, liquidity that we call, right? Water, is going to flow from the traditional world over to this world. It happened in 2020 because a bunch of money got printed in the traditional world. They flooded into the system. That wave reached crypto and everybody's boats went up, right? You're the one there with like buckets earlier. And as long as you don't buy stupid shit, which 15,000 out of 20,000 are stupid shit, you're just sitting there with a bucket, and when that rush comes, you'll fill it up with your whatever, a few $1 million, and you'll take it home. And to the sovereign wealth funds, that's a rounding error. They couldn't care less if you made 0.00001% of their investments. But the way that's going to happen is every single person in the world needs to be terrified of this space. We're not. You think we're going to put, how much, $100 trillion? You think we're going to put $100 trillion of money that's locked up with custodians on dollar-based places and company treasuries? Do you think we're going to put $100 trillion into a space when there's all these plebs on the other side with their buckets waiting to take it? No, we're going to scare the shit out of them. Okay, here's what we do. We take it up to this price, and then we just dump it. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to run for the hills. They're going to all get scared. They don't know what they're holding. They're like, these are coins. Why do I buy them? I don't know, because my friend told me. Or, whatever. Richard Hart told me he's changing the world. Which is, if you're holding Pulse-X, get the fuck out of that. And when we're going to sell it to them when they do that, right? But they're not going to let us sit there. So what always happens is this process of like, oh my God, we're all falling off of a cliff. Oh my God, death, death, death. Look at how many people lost money. And the thing is, those people are just looking at the top number that they were at and going, oh, look at how much money I lost. No, you didn't lose any money, bro. The moment you sell it is the moment you make money or you lose money. Okay? The only thing that counts is when you buy it and when you sell it. If you haven't sold it, that calculation hasn't completed yet. Then when it's all gone to shit and everybody's so scared of this space, the smart money comes up and buys it all up at pennies on the dollar. Things that we were looking at going, should I buy this at 1,000? Now they're at like 60. And you know how much and everybody wants them? A zero. Well, what am I doing? I'm like, where's the cash? I'm just going and pulling everything out of everywhere that I can, and I'm just getting it ready like, oh, this is going to be such a good buying opportunity. I'm going to buy up everything at bottom barrel dollars, right? So learn to transition your wealth from the old system to the new system. The new system is going to be based on a banking system called the ISO 20022 banking system. I've talked about this, but I'm going to actually talk about this in one of the talks again. It's a system that automates money across the world. It's not even a crypto. It's a traditionally built system that automates money across the world. It's going to complete implementation by November of 2025, but expect by about 2024 for this transition to complete in the biggest way. It is going to take all of your sovereignty, your financial sovereignty in the sense that, how come I can hear myself? Okay. In that you will not own your bank account. Anything you do financially will only be done if you're authorized to do it, and it'll be auto-taxed and auto-tracked and auto-digital ID'd. You literally just won't be able to pay for burgers unless you are part of the system. That system is going to run on central bank digital currencies, the same currencies we have today, but digital. So they can program them, they can make them expire, they can take them out of your bank account, they can put them in your bank account, whatever. Those currencies are going to be infinitely inflated. It's going to be like the same old shit that they're doing now, they're going to keep doing that. They're going to keep inflating all those currencies. So the people sitting on the currency side are going to lose out. The people that are sitting on the asset side are going to win because their boats are going to go up. Okay? The people who sell the assets into, because they're like, oh, well, this is worth a lot of dollars. You convert it into dollars and you go spend it all on lifestyle. It'll run out at some point, and then the asset side will be way more expensive. So learn how to leverage your assets. Like, the secret is take money, put it into this ocean. Hopefully you put it in when the wave is down. If it's not, buy good shit and just ride the wave down and ride the wave up. And as the wave goes up, as everybody becomes euphoric and hyperbolic about how we're all going to 100K or how we're all going to 400K, take money out of crypto. Take at least what you invested out. Then take more. Along the way, just keep taking money out. Don't worry about, oh, it's going to go higher. Who cares? Just take money out. Come on. Like, why'd you put money in, right? Then you take that money while it's going up and you put it into businesses and revenue streams that are making you revenue, reliable revenue. And so the thing's still going up. You're building your businesses. Thing crests, building your business. This is like October. We started this transitionary process. Things going up. I'm like, we're leaving. People are like, why are we leaving? I was like, you'll get this in like 9 months, but this is what we're leaving right now. And they're like, no, but we're all going to 100K. Like YouTube said, some toddler on YouTube. Seriously, this guy, like, his mom changed his diaper, and then he got on there. I think he's like 11 or something, and he's telling me that we're all going to 100K. And I went, we're not going to 100K. We're getting out at 45K, and we're putting money into these businesses. And so we spent from October until now setting up we've been setting them up for a long time, but getting live a bunch of revenue streams that make money consistently, that we made from crypto. And now the thing crests, December, putting money into there, goes down, putting money into there, coming back. These things are starting to return money already, cash flow. Now crypto's at the bottom. Guess where the cash flow is going? Into crypto. Right? And now, no matter what crypto does, I have money that's turning over in businesses that is going to make money forever. Great. So then I can just feed that money into crypto forever, and while it's low, I just keep feeding money in, and obviously you keep cash on the side to do this too. And then, guess what's going to happen a year from now, within the next year? We go back up again, and guess what I'm doing? Taking money out and putting it into those businesses. And now I put more money into those businesses, so these businesses make more money, literally per month. That means I have more money to be able to go back and deploy into crypto, right? And there's a cyclicality to this thing. But what's actually going on is all my money is not in banks, not in stocks, not in land, not in anything they can take. It's in digital everything, right? And all the businesses are even digital. The businesses aren't things that I run here.
How do you know this business is going to be successful?
Because I'm running them.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, how do you know the businesses are going to be successful? Because I'm running them. I guarantee their success, right? Are they all going to work? No, some of them always fail. but I'm really good at running businesses.
Example?
Yeah, so I have a consultancy firm. I consult for people and help them develop wealth plans and execute them. I'm running them myself completely because you can't outsource consultancy. No, it's. Do you have it at hand? Yeah, if you can open it, that'd be cool. But then we're setting up companies for people. Gozi's running it with me, Gozi and my assistant, right? So we're setting up companies for people. We are, some of the revenue streams that people can access are like, we're getting government tenders, government contracts to do stuff. So I just take it out to my investor community and get them in, and then we all pool money and we put it into the tender. It's hands off, the government does the work and they pay you out. They pay you at Indonesian timing, but they pay you out, right? You got to poke and prod a little bit, but okay, great. So if somebody wants to make money passively and they have money and you don't want to risk it over there, we'll give you 12% every 4 months. Every 3 months it turns over, but every 4 months you get 12% back, which is great. Compounded, that ends up being a lot, right? We are running nodes, right? Because these are just computers. All these things are computers. I want the computers. Some people are like, I'll mine Bitcoin. I'm like, nah, there's too many people mining Bitcoin. You don't get enough money in Bitcoin. So we're running other nodes that provide services to the world, and we own the computers and run them, so we get paid from them, right? We have mines. We have mines that are producing an income, and I'm like, hey, not me, they came to me, but they're like, hey, this system that you're using for real estate, we could use it for the mines, and we actually pay the people who are owning the token. So it's like DeFi, right? So great, buy some mines, it's an early token. Once it goes up in value, it's how tokens do it. But also, I will earn a yield that's reliable. When you ask me, where's the money coming from? I'm going, that shovel right there is where the money's coming from, and I don't think copper demand is going anywhere. Great. 3 ways to make money sitting on your ass, doing nothing. How much time did it take? Nothing. I mean, it takes time to set up and get used to, but how much of your time does it take for you to make that money? You make it while you sleep. That's wealth. Rich is when you make money. Wealthy is when you make money while you sleep, right? Those are just a few of them. And then I have like 6 of them in my own business that I'm running in parallel, right? So, pro tip, if you want to run that many businesses, use an app called Asana. Asana single-handedly lets me run as many businesses as I like, as long as I have amazing people to run them with. Which, by the way, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Okay, love you. He's our coder. He's the one coding all of our stuff. Oh, yeah. He's an OG coder. Well.
So that's the.
All right. So, I mean, we do more things than even this now, but you get the idea. I'm not going to talk too much about this stuff. We're talking about what is crypto and what is Bitcoin. But this is what we talked about, right? Set up companies, help them generate debt, tax strategies, help them set up revenue streams through government tenders, building affordable housing. Gaming we didn't do yet. We were going to do it, canceled it. Node we're running, copper mines we're running. Some people set up Amazon stores as a business that makes you money, right? There's 1,000 ways to make money that are consistent and reliable, and they have good returns, right? Now, most of the stuff that you hear like this in Indonesia is a scam. This is why I crush it in this industry. I just do what I say. It's so easy, like you just literally say this is going to happen and it actually works. And it works because I control the money all along the way in all of these things. Personally or 1 degree away from me, my lawyers control it, right? So what you're doing is you're transitioning your wealth from a safe system where your money's sitting with banks. By the way, if you don't know what a bank bail-in is, get educated real quick. Please join our group. Please go into the crypto beginner channel. Go to the pinned messages. Look up there's a sheet that we'll repost again that has a talk about bank bail-ins. Please watch it. Banks made you sign paperwork that said the next time we go bankrupt, we take all of your money. And you said, I agree. And they said, sign it again. You went, again. Sign it again, again. Sign it again. Man, how many times do I have to sign away all of my money? They went 20 times, right? So between now and 2025, you're gonna get Russianed. There's a global Russianing upon us. Okay? It happened to the people in Canada. People in Canada just wanted to protest. You know, Canada, free country. I'm from Canada. It used to be great. People just protested, and somebody went, here's $1 to help you protest, which is totally a legitimate thing to do. The Canadian government enacted a law that retroactively made that terrorism, retroactively made something free terrorism, froze all of the bank accounts of everybody who donated, went to exchanges and froze all of their crypto accounts, and took all their money. Retroactively. And they took all of their money. You give $1, we take all of your money. And you're a free Canadian, right? No, you're not. You are just disagreeing with what the government said. And they got Russianed. But most of them, they were like, you can take whatever you want in the bank. There's nothing in the fucking bank. That's why I'm rioting in the first place, bro. Come on now, right? But that is coming to all of us. Even if you didn't take your money out of the bank, you lost 80% over the last 2 years. Or, yeah, 80%. They printed 80% of the money supply in the last 2 years. So whatever you have, you got $1 million, now it's 200,000. It just doesn't look like it. Now try to go buy houses. Now try to go buy Bitcoin. How many Bitcoin did you know, $70,000 buy you in 2020? It bought you like 14 Bitcoin. 14 Bitcoin, dude? 14 Bitcoin. For $70,000? Yeah. We print a bunch of money, now how much does it buy you? 3. How much did it buy you at the top? 1. 1. So you lost 12 Bitcoins worth of purchasing power in the time that your money looked like it was the same. Okay? This is the game that we're playing. So what you do is you go buy solid shit. You go buy solid stuff that you can like verifiably say this is going to do the thing that it's saying it's going to do. Or it's already doing the thing that it says it's going to do, right? That's why for me, I'm like, when these mines came to me and they're like, tokenize these mines. And I went, wow, you have a mine. It pulls out copper. I know where copper's going with this green initiatives and stuff. And then you're telling me to turn it into a security, so it's like a stock. And you're turning it into a token, which is crypto. And it's already commodities. And when I stake it, I get DeFi yield, so it's DeFi. It's DeFi, commodities, crypto, and shares put into one package. Yeah, that's something I'll buy, for sure. That makes a ton of sense to me. In worst case scenario, I get mining profits. Best case scenario, I get crypto profits. As long as the thing works and I control the mines myself and I know they're fully functional on how they're being run, that's a no-brainer for me to buy. When you're buying, now go back and look at your portfolio. Okay? Look at your portfolio and pick the thing and make a little column that says, what does it do? And try to define what it does. And even put a column that says, where's the money coming from? And man, when you run that analysis, you're going to be like, oh shit, Ponzi, 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 Ponzi. And then one of the few of them, you'll be like, oh, but that's a computer system. Oh, that's the app that's running on top that does like this metaverse thing. Oh, that's cool. This is digital land. Okay, well, he said digital stuff is kind of valuable, so I feel like that's cool. But most of the stuff, you'll look at it and it'll be just hype and promises, and it actually doesn't do anything in the world. So what do? You know, it's been decent bit of problems. I want to close off on solutions. So I like that one. It makes bigger clouds, you know? It's like a choo-choo train. Learn to spot what is the base layer technology of building the future. Because if you just found one oil in 1920, or you found one automobile company, or you found one anything, if you just called one that went from like $1 to thousands of dollars, you're good, you made it, you crushed it. Even if you put $1,000 into one that's $1 and it goes to thousands of dollars, you're a millionaire, okay? But just learn how to spot those things. If a friend comes to you and goes, buy this crypto, and you go, what does it do? And they go, what do you mean, what does it do? What does it do? And you go, you're an idiot. I'm not taking any advice from you. I love you and everything, but like, if you can't tell me what it does, I'm not buying it. Secondly, get used to the roller coaster. Welcome to the roller coaster. If you haven't been here for a while, it is bumpy. It makes you want to throw up pretty regularly. About every once a year, it makes you want to just puke your guts out. And most people cannot handle that because they're looking at that number on a screen like, this is my bank account. But what we're doing wrong is, you're looking at the number up here that goes this many dollars, that many dollars. You're like, this is my bank account. No, this is your bank account, where it says this many coins, right? Because like, when the money's in the bank, the dollar number is how much money I have, how much purchasing power I have. When I go and buy gold coins with it, or gold ounces with it, now the number can fluctuate all I want, but I just know how much gold I have, right? That's a pretty logical thing. Do the same thing with your crypto. If you know you're buying gold, if you know you're buying solid shit, what you do is you go and pick solid shit and you buy it, and once you convert the dollars into the coins, you just watch that coin number. It's a weird psychological trick, but you look at that coin number and you just go, my wealth is exactly the same as it was before. Oh, it's worth twice as much. My wealth is exactly the same. Oh, it's worth 80% less. It still says this many gold coins, bro. And this gold coin went from 0.8 of a penny to $70,000. So I think I'm good. I think I'm gonna hold this gold coin, and I just don't sell it until it's higher than where I found it. Because in this transition process, the dollar doesn't do this. The dollar's high, everybody loses faith, boom, dollar's going to zero. No, that's not how the dollar dies. The dollar goes, it's up. As it goes down, the money flows into other assets. That's what happened. You know, in 2020, the dollar went down. All this printed amount of money reduced the value of the dollar. Crypto went up. Once crypto goes up, you move back into the dollar because the dollar is lower. As you move back into the dollar value goes up. As the dollar value goes up, crypto and stocks and everything crash. And then you get back into crypto. You do this like once every year at the latest, at the quickest, and you'll be good. Or you just literally just buy solid shit and ride the waves. You know, 2 years is like an eternity to my generation. Like 2 years? Bro, 2 years ago I was like 12. So, you know, that's a long part of life, 12 to 14. That's a huge percentage of the life that you're telling me to think about. You know, once you get to, like, I got to 30 and I was like, oh, this is how it feels to be 30? Like, okay, who gives a shit? Like, 2 more years? Yeah, great. I spent 15 years building my shit. You tell me 2 more years to become a fucking 100 millionaire? No problem, bro. Where do I put the money? Okay, so you get into this space. If you're holding solid shit, just don't sell it lower than where you bought it, because what you're holding is the future of internet and oil and computers and websites and every single thing around you. Okay, that's it. Don't get shaken up. All right, any questions before we close off? No questions. Wow. Feel like you guys get it. Nothing online? All right. So we'll do this talk again in Park. I'll have a presentation. It'll be a little bit different there if you want to watch it there. And a lot of this stuff, it'll be repeated. If you're coming here regularly, it will be repeated so that you get it. So you start to think about the world in this way of like value equals love. Love is actually value. The only thing we all want is love. It's represented in different ways. It's represented as a form of money. We made a new form of money on computers. That's called crypto. That's going to be used as the value generation mechanism to build out the entire world around you. Pick your pieces, pick them at the right place, and just chill, just hang out. Okay? Put money into crypto, which you know you're not going to need for the next 2 to 3 years. When you put it in, imagine you've lost it already.
I have a question. When did you get into the crypto space? So did you ride the last wave already? You did?
I got into crypto in 2012, right? And I was like nearly homeless.
Okay.
I was about as close to homeless as it gets, right? And I had seen what happened in 2011, and we knew that was the history of Bitcoin. It does this and this. In 2012, I started telling people like, guys, you should buy some of this. And some of the people like, I don't know how to buy it. How do we buy it? So in 2012, I helped friends buy it, and we got in, we got out way too early still. But regardless, we multiplied money, and to multiply it in like months was ridiculous. So we're just like, this is insane. This is insane. So what we actually did is we went from double-digit dollars up to triple-digit dollars somewhere, and we sold it, Bitcoin, right? Because it went up to 200 and then it crashed. And we're like, crushing it, and then it crashed, and we're like, it's done, bro, it's done. It just went from $200 down to like double-digit dollars, it's done. And then it waited for a long time and it grinded people out and pissed people off, and everybody's like, fuck this space, I missed my opportunity, I hate this, it's 80% down, I'm just gonna sell it. And then it went from there, from $60 to $1,200 within the year. And we're just sitting there like, so we sold it from $60 to like 100 something dollars, and the thing went to $1,200. Okay, so we're like, next time it does this, I'm gonna be ready for this. So next time in 2017, I gathered together, I think it was like $3,000 or something, and I think it was less than $2,000, it's $2,700 something dollars. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put it in this time if it does this time. Great. It went to $3,000, I put it in, it went to $9,000, I took it out. Triple my money. And I just took it out and it went to $20,000, but then it crashed and I was like, I knew it was gonna do that. So then I took the $9,000 and I turned it into furniture, right? And started living on it, enjoying it. And I enjoyed it until 2020. And in 2020, I sold all that furniture and I moved to Bali, right? And that's how I leveraged that wealth to get to here. In the meantime, I built a weed company, and then I took the profits from the weed company and put it in 2020. And now I'm broke, and I need a McDonald's job. This is how you lose all of your money, guys. Yeah. Right, so this is something that a lot of people wonder, right? Do I think crypto will go up once more before the big financial crash? Yes. Because big financial crashes don't happen like this. They don't go, I'm gonna crash, and you go, I think it's gonna crash. And he goes, I'm gonna crash, and you go, oh my God, December, holy shit, it looks like it's crashing. And then he goes, I'm crashing. January, oh my God, I think it is crashing. February, I'm still crashing, and you're like, man, it's been crashing for a long time. And now it's like 7 months, I'm gonna crash. And we're all like, it's gonna crash, and all the news are like, it's gonna crash. That's not how markets crash, right? If we could all predict the market crashing, okay, if you're sure the market's gonna crash, short it. Short the market, put on a leverage bet, 50x leverage. You'll make 50 times the money of whatever you put in, short it. And let me know how that goes, okay? The way markets crash is, everything is great, boom, all your money's gone, right? And this biblical financial collapse that's coming, that's gonna collapse equity, stocks, which are the same thing, financial products, real estate, gold, precious metals, commodities, everything is gonna crash during this crash, crypto. And the only thing that will not crash is the dollar. When that crash happens, I guarantee you it will be all of us going, oh my God, good times are back. This room will be so packed full of people that will need new chairs and stuff. That's the moment that it'll crash like this. It'll just be like, oh my God, great times, cyber attack by Russians. Okay, that's how it's gonna crash. So do I think crypto is gonna go up before the crash? Yes. Otherwise, the human psychology that's applied to markets for all of history no longer applies and something's changed. Or at least that's my assumption. My thing is this, I'm buying shit today, and I've been buying for the last 2 months, and I bought stuff and I went, here's the money, it's gone. Okay, I sold it up here, I sold 1,000 coins of this crypto, now I bought 2,000 coins. I doubled my coins. My bank balance on the actual thing went doubled my wealth. It's in, it's gone. It's gone, I lost it. Psychologically, it's gone. I'm broke, I have nothing. And I will stay in that, I'm happy to stay in that state for the next 3 years, no problem. But my thesis is, as long as I doubled my coins, I ain't selling it until it goes way higher than where I bought it. You buy it, you set a price alert to let me know once it comes back to that level, and I went to Montenegro. Went to vacation, hung out, market's melting down, I don't care. It's crashing off of a cliff, I don't care. I doubled my coins, bro. I doubled my wealth, doubled my power the next time it goes up. Now, if it goes up before this collapse, fantastic. Fantastic. It goes up, I turn it back into dollars, the collapse happens, and now I have way more dollars to deploy. If it doesn't go up before this collapse and this collapse happens, fantastic. It goes down, guess what? My price alert didn't trigger, so I'm not even gonna pay attention to it. I don't look at my portfolio. I don't look at the number going up and down, except for once in a while when the number's really high, then I go, ha, that's cool, right? But even then, I'm like, I just ignore it. We don't have it, it's gone, right? And then on the other side, either of this financial collapse or of just whatever, it's gonna go up. Because this financial collapse is simply the collapse of the old world system that's based on the dollar, and that system is gonna look for somewhere for that money to go the next time. Because when the trust gets lost in bonds, in stocks, and in the dollar itself, that money's got to go somewhere. And I'm the guy on the other side with a bucket, with a price alert, saying, let me know when the bucket starts to fill up and I'll start paying attention to it. In the meantime, building businesses, building cash flow, building revenue streams, building out all these things, building teams, building relationships, right? All right, I'm gonna close off there. Thank you guys for your time. We went over. Appreciate you guys. What? All right, if you guys, if you want to join our Telegram group, please scan this, right? Okay. Oh yeah, if you want to contact us, please scan this. I don't know if you guys can see this on the, is it? Oh, it's already there. Oh, look at you guys. Wow. Wow, this technology is wow.
You're leveling up.
Level on up. Wait, but did that record on Loom or where did it record?
Both Loom, YouTube,
Wow.
and back up here.
Oh, wow. Okay, wait, we were live on YouTube?
Yep. Not live.
It's going to go on
It's
YouTube?
private. It's private. So
All right, next time tell me we're live.